This conference will now be recorded.
And the call will be posted later today on the Chamber's website for everybody to see. And In addition to that, members of the media have been invited to participate as well. So I hope that the if you have any questions, you'll feel free to ask them. And lastly, I'd ask if you'd respectfully keep your computers on mute until we can get to the point of questions and answers, and then we can go from there. Uh, I am pleased to introduce a colleague of mine here in Nacogdoches that I've had the privilege of working with since my early days here in Nacogdoches. She joins us this morning as President and CEO of the Nacogdoches Economic Development Corporation, better known, I guess, in Nacogdoches as NEDCO. Uh, Larissa Philpot-Brown has been working tirelessly on key issues impacting Nacogdoches, not the least of which the construction, evolution, and impacts of I-69 on certainly Nacogdoches County and the surrounding areas. She's worked very quietly with lots of businesses that were either in transition or contemplating locating here in Nacogdoches. And today I am particularly pleased to introduce Larissa at this time because of her involvement uh, with the uh, with the Eaton expansion. And I know all of you are probably anxious to hear how this all evolved and what the concept, what the impacts we can anticipate here in Nacogdoches will be. Uh, so would you please say good morning to Larissa Philpot-Brown, the President and CEO of NEDCO. Good morning, Larissa.
Good morning, Wayne. Um, I think rather than going through the presentation, I was looking and it looks like all of the folks here have heard me talk about Eaton, and so I don't want to waste a whole lot of time with folks this morning. They've all, I think, heard this presentation, but just to reiterate, we worked with Eaton for about a year. They are a global company. They've got several locations here in Texas, and they are planning on doing an addition that will essentially double the production of their facility. They'll be adding at least 200 new jobs that average about $67,000 a year. For those that don't know, Eaton produces electrical transformers and electrical voltage regulators, which transformers are important, obviously, to the security of our grid, so that when we have a weather event, those transformers can quickly be placed back. New ones can be placed back on electrical poles, but then the regulators are important with all of the new different energy sources we utilize today. So solar and wind and all of those things require those voltage regulators to get all of the electricity working together smoothly. So as Wayne said, we have to work quietly in the background for quite some time. These businesses like to remain secret when they're working on these projects because they don't want their competitors to hear that this is happening. And they also, I think, a little bit of it too is they don't want to give us any false hope. We were competing with another site, and so that's why it was so important that our partners at the state through the governor's office, they provided the project with close to $2 million from the governor's deal closing fund, and then our partners at the city and the county provided tax rebates, which would in the end result in a savings of many millions of dollars for the company. On the flip side, Eaton will be providing jobs and an economic output that can be measured probably in the billions of dollars for Texas over the next 10 to 15 years over the life of those agreements. Those agreements also ensure that they will keep the folks, these new jobs, that they will keep them in place for at least 15 years. And so that's a nice reassurance that we like to have. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you maybe haven't had answered yet.
Larissa, I've had a couple of folks ask about, and I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm gonna, the current footprint for the facility, can it accommodate the expansion?
Yes, yes. They are working with a local engineer, which we were excited about to see them use a local contractor. I don't know who their building contractor is, so when I say contractor, their engineering contractor. They do believe that it will fit on site. They will unfortunately have to move that park area or relocate the park area that is currently on the edge of their facility. I think there's a batting cage there and some park benches. And Eaton has expressed a desire to help us find another location for the public to be able to have a batting cage and maybe improve another local park somewhere to replace that facility.
That's great. And in anticipation of this expansion, are there things that we on our end in Nacogdoches need to be doing in order to make sure that the employees that they're going to be looking for have the skill set to do the job?
Yes, and I did just see that Emily Hobson from Eaton just joined us. Good morning, Emily. Feel free to jump in anytime. So yes, we as a community definitely need to be thinking about workforce development. The Eaton facility is looking at a groundbreaking, hopefully in October. Their construction period probably about a year. They won't be fully staffed with all of those new positions until probably 2025, 2026. And so we do have a little bit of a lead time there, but we do need to be considering workforce development. Something that I love about this Eaton project is I think these are jobs that our East Texans can do, but we want to make sure that as many of our East Texans that are interested in this kind of work are able to do it. And so workforce development is certainly something that NEDCO will be working on with NISD and SFA and Angelina College and the chamber and the city and the county all working together. Somebody the other day asked me whose job I was speaking to somebody in one of our local government organizations, and they said, well, whose job is workforce development? And I said, it's kind of nobody's job because it's everybody's job. We all have a piece of that. And so that will be something that we'll be working hard on over the next year to make sure that all of our residents have the opportunity to gain the skills that they need for the jobs that we have available.
That's fantastic. I'll open it up to others that might have a question.
Hey, Wayne, this is Nancy Wyndham. I don't have well, I guess this is a question. Hey, Larissa,
Good morning.
I can say this. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Larissa did not give herself and the leadership of Nacogdoches enough credit. She just went over, it was a deal closing fund with the governor's office. Larissa, if you want to, I think it's very important for this group and anybody to know the process that you and your team had to go through to get, it's called a Texas Enterprise Fund. You can elaborate on it or I can hit the high spots, but
Sure.
Kudos, because not everybody can get these funds, and it takes someone on task every day to get all those steps. And I just want to say you've done an amazing job. You just skipped right over that, but I think it's good for this group and the local entities to know the complexities of getting that money and the hard work that y'all did. You're not one to brag on yourself, but see, I can and get by with it. But no, you don't realize how intricate that process is and who has to approve it. So if you would share with the group that.
Sure. So for those that don't know, the governor's deal closing fund is called the Texas Enterprise Fund. It is kind of a mysterious fund. They are pretty mysterious on their formula funding and how much any one entity can qualify for. It is kind of a politically approved award, so it does have to be approved, signed off on by the governor, the governor and his team, and Adriana Cruz, his director of economic development, the Office of Tourism and Economic Development, they immediately jumped on this project and were immediate supporters. The application does also have to be approved by the Speaker of the House and the Lieutenant Governor. If you follow Texas politics, you know at any one time the three of those gentlemen or gentle ladies, hopefully at some point, are probably either best friends or not speaking to each other. And so it just depends on where we are in the session and what's going on. And the politics of the day. We were both lucky and a little stymied by the fact that this application came through in the middle of session. It was easy to access all of the members because they were all in Austin working hard. They all had high priorities that affected the entire state and weren't necessarily eager to sit down and focus and talk about one project in one community. But we have some great friends that helped us in Austin and helped us communicate. Senator Nichols and Travis Clardy's staff were fantastic. I will say Senator Nichols in particular took the project under his wing, and we are blessed to have him. He has a great relationship with the speaker and the lieutenant governor and the governor, and so he was really our elected official voice in Austin. We actually had some friends with the Austin Chamber that helped us a little bit, and even Representative Ashby. We met with Representative Ashby to just say, hey, you're an East Texas guy, you're a former economic developer, I guess once an economic developer, always an economic developer, but Representative Ashby, also worked on the project for us and mentioned it when he could. So it's the first time we have gotten one of these awards in Nacogdoches County since Lee Container, probably about 20 years ago, maybe 15, 18, 20 years ago. So we were excited to see that money come here. It's not often that an award of this size comes to a project of this size and a community of this size. This is the fund that you hear when they say Samsung is building a new chip manufacturing plant, or Cheniere is building a new gas refining facility on the coast. That's the same fund that closes those deals, so to speak. So we were super excited by the support in Austin, and thankful for everyone. It was a team effort for sure.
Larissa, are you at liberty to say how stiff the competition was for this expansion?
I don't really think I should probably talk about where our competition was. Just it was not in Texas, I can say that. Eaton was able to tell me that there was an operating delta between how much it would cost for this facility to work in Nacogdoches versus the other site. And so we kind of had a dollar figure we were working against. I will say I don't think we completely cleared that whole delta. I think some of it is that they like Eaton, and Emily, I hope you'll agree with this. Eaton likes working in Texas. They really are proud of their team in Nacogdoches, as they should be, and really enjoy the labor force here. And so I think we were able, while we weren't able to just throw money at it from a local standpoint, like some communities are that have big war chests, I think the value of Nacogdoches is our labor force, our community spirit, our local government partners that are so easy to work with, and then of course the culture and the team that they've built locally at that Eaton plant. All were good factors in our favor.
That's great. You referenced Emily. I don't know, Emily, if you wanted to add anything to Larissa.
I just want to say thank you so much to the team locally. What Larissa said is spot on. We could not have accomplished this without our local leadership, without Larissa's hard work. Eaton is extremely a generous employer, and they are very favorable to our location, specifically here in Nacogdoches. We know it's a tough workforce out there, but we've shown the ability to hire and hire really great people, and show the ability that we've really been able to showcase that there are great people that want to work hard in East Texas. And so I'm so grateful to NEDCO and all of our partners for helping secure this, because we've just been glowing for the last few months, just, hoping that this would come to fruition, and to see it come to fruition, it couldn't have happened without our local partners.
Thank you, Emily. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention our entire NEDCO team. Casey and Mary Francis we couldn't be who we are without the team that we are. It's an amazing team, each with their own strengths that makes us great. I also have to mention the fact that we're a 501c3 nonprofit. So many people think that we're a department of the city, and we're very close partners with the city and well funded. A portion of us is funded by the city, but the other 2/3 of our budget come from other organizations, some of which are private businesses, most of which are private businesses. And so this was not just a win for the city and the county, but it was a win for all of our members that pay that annual membership fee to keep our doors open. And that's so rare. I can't tell you how incredibly rare that is, to live in a community where an industry will pay to fund an organization that might bring in competition for their labor force, but they understand the rising tide lifts all boats, and that is part of what builds that business environment that I think Eaton enjoys. The same as Pilgrim's Pride and TFP and all of our good industrial partners. It builds a great business environment.
Well, that's fantastic. And any other questions for Larissa?
Casey did, I just saw Casey answer the phone, so I will do a little bit of her report if it's okay while I'm still here.
Absolutely.
She wanted me to mention, of course, our event on Thursday, how to do business with the SFA. We want to make sure with the transition to the UT system that all of our local businesses that contract with SFA or want to contract with SFA are confident and comfortable in that change and that new process. We do have our annual report, and our annual contract renewal will come before the City Council on September 5th. And then we will also, at our annual meeting coming up in October, be transitioning from Robert Flores as our chairman to Scott Boyer as our NEDCO chairman. So all of you, when you see Robert, thank him for his hard work over the last 3 years. And then also thank Scott for his willingness to work with us for another 3 years. Sorry, Charlotte, we're gonna monopolize a lot of Scott's time soon. Casey also just reminded me to mention the new city manager. Several of you participated in the reception on Friday with our city manager candidates. The city council unanimously chose to offer the position to Rick Beverlin. He's currently the city manager of Leander. He did a lot of work in the Houston-Galveston area. He was the assistant city manager in Galveston, also worked for the Houston-Galveston Area Council of Governments on transportation planning. So he comes with a wealth of experience from tourism to transportation to economic development. He worked real closely with the airport in Galveston, so we're just super excited to have him on board. I think word is that he should be here sometime in the next 30 to 60 days. I think based on his contract in Leander, he needs a little bit of time to give them notice, but we expect to see him in Nacogdoches this fall.
That's fantastic. Yep, that was a great reception on Friday night. It was great to have an opportunity to meet all of the candidates, and it's times are changing in Nacogdoches. Any other questions of Larissa? Well, again, Larissa, thanks for all the great work you and your colleagues are doing at NEDCO on this issue. And go ahead.
Sorry about that. Hey, Larissa, I was going to touch base while I was on the call real quick. You mentioned that the jobs, and I guess maybe Emily can speak to this real quick as well, but just the jobs, the timeline for that is 25, 26 is when we see, is that just to get to the number, or is that when we start seeing them arrive?
Emily can probably answer that better than me, if you still can. Emily, when do you think the bulk of the jobs will arrive and we need to start preparing for hiring?
Yeah, so we plan on starting to hire mid to Q3 next year, 2024. We do expect the first product to roll off the line sometime Q2 of 25. So it's a little bit of an extensive training, and so we have to do a lot of, I would say, a lot of the hiring between Q4 and Q1 to get everybody ready to see the full production ramp up.
Emily, do you know how many of those jobs might require a 4-year degree or something that some at SFA, excuse me, I'm an SFA and working in the Career Center here. And so I'm just curious what ways I can help in terms of making sure that y'all are connecting with our college students and our soon-to-be grads.
Yeah, I'd love to discuss that with you further. A good majority of our jobs, the hourly workforce will not require a 4-year degree, but a small portion of them will be the salaried positions that will help. We've done a really excellent job, I think, partnering with SFA specifically in the last year. We've hired 2 engineering grads, and we've got 3 engineering interns here. So SFA has been a huge partner with that. So I would love to work with you more on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Brent, while we've got you up, would you like to give us kind of a quick report on an SFA, what's going on?
And SFA, well, as far as what's going on right now, the most immediate thing is classes are soon to begin for us in the fall. So even though we're in the middle of a heat wave still, it seems like maybe at the end of it, our classes for fall start next week. And so a lot of students will be arriving to campus now. You should see traffic increase. We apologize for that. But with all that, hopefully you'll see energy and, more dollars into our economy here locally. But there's opportunities for businesses certainly to come onto campus. You can always check out weeks of welcome opportunities those first couple of weeks. There's opportunities for y'all to meet with students, but then also for us out of the Center for Career and Professional Development, we have our fall career fairs that you're more than welcome to attend as well. We encourage you, many of you on the call are aware of those and participate in those, but if you have any questions about those, just reach out to me.
And I do want to let you folks know that next month on our first call in September, Interim President Gina is going to be joining us to give us an update, and we're looking forward to that. You'll have more information very soon on that call, so that's great. Brent, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm pleased to see we do have Nancy Wyndham online, and Nancy, my colleague Kelly gave a great report on the upcoming conferences in your organization.
Okay, are you talking about Power in the Pines and the Economic Development Summit? And let me think what else. Power in the Pines is a Texas Workforce Commission. Have you already reported on that, Kelly? Okay, on October the 11th at Stephen F. Austin University, it's what we call Power in the Pines. We've been talking about it for a year. Set the date. It is a Interns Unite, and it is specifically for internship. So we're looking forward to a great attendance on that one. Some of you have reached out wanting to help and support, and we'll be reaching back out with you. We have another planning meeting on that tomorrow. And then on December the 6th is our annual Economic Development Summit. And I want to mention that both of these events that's coming up, we like to leverage our assets and invite partners in, but we are co-hosting that this year with the Center for Applied Research and Rural Innovation. It was CARI. There is no need, we're going to not divide and conquer, but we're going to consolidate and move it forward to even be in a better and bigger session. So put those 2 dates, October the 11th and then December the 6th. And I just want to report that we have completed each of the strategy meetings in all the 12 counties. And we have a planning meeting to help put all of those together for each of the counties, plus a 12-county regional strategic plan. So appreciate everyone that has participated in that and look forward to moving that forward. So that's it in a nutshell right now. There's a lot going on. And I would say just be patient with North Street, with all of our traffic, because every car that you have to slow down for or that makes a wrong turn is a student that's here to spend money, go to school, get an education, and to increase the economy in Nacogdoches. So just look at it that way. Count our blessings that we do have a traffic backup on North Street, and a lot of great things are still coming out of the system. UT, I don't know if y'all saw the news later about the signing for the medical for the UT and the SFA the other day. If not, Kelly, I'll forward that over to you. There's a photograph with our team signing papers with UT Medical. With that said, I'll just move on. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Any questions of Nancy? Nancy, those of us at the chamber view that noise on North Street as the sound of money.
I know it is. It's green all the way. Thanks. Even though it's
That's
purple, it looks green. Thanks.
That's true. Well, thank you, Nancy, very much. I appreciate that. I am pleased to welcome the interim director of Visit Nacogdoches, another great Nacogdoches colleague, Ashley Morgan. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, so that our board is very close to selecting a new director. We have a board meeting this afternoon, so I have a feeling it'll happen there. But if not there, then very soon. So hopefully by this next call, I'll be able to tell y'all. Next week, Shelby Lero and I are attending TACVB, which is the Texas Association of Convention and Visitors Bureau conference in College Station. We'll be there for a full week of education. And so we're really excited. And that's also when we have the competition for marketing campaigns. And we've entered a few categories, so we're hoping to bring home some more awards. Typically we do, so we're feeling pretty good. Hotel occupancy tax is down 0.5% this month. This is the first time this year that it was down, and I think it has something to do with this insane heat that we're dealing with. You know, people are just not getting in the car and driving as much. So luckily we're still up 19% for the year though, so things are still looking good. And I'm hoping to see a little increase coming in the fall months, as well as the decrease of temperatures. So this coming Friday, we have a Knack Snack Friday. That's when we have food trucks on the downtown square. They'll be open from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I don't have the list in front of me, but I promise you there's some good ones. And so, yeah, just bring your friends or your coworkers, or come meet your spouse for lunch in downtown with us, and we'll play live music, or not live music, sorry, we'll play music over the speakers, and set out some tables and chairs for everyone. And then you can always come inside the CVB and say hi and enjoy our air conditioning. Speaking of events, there is going to be a very big weekend in September. If anyone remembers April 1st, this is kind of close to that. It's going to be the Old Town Rigdown with all of the big trucks downtown for 2 days, as well as the Centennial Celebration for SFA. So we're really excited. We're probably going to be welcoming a lot of people to our community that weekend. Traffic will be busy, which is always a good thing. Just like you guys said about the students, just picture each car as dollar signs. So we're excited about that. The Old Town Rigdown event is completely free, and we'll have a concert on, I believe, Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night, and then Friday night is the light show with all of the trucks. We have information on our website and social media about that if you're interested. And then SFA Centennial, I don't want to speak for them, but they do have an entire page about their events. I believe it's sfasu.com/centennial. And just kind of while we're on the topic of events, we have a lot of these weekends where things stack up. And so what I hear constantly from everyone is, why don't we have a central calendar? And I want everyone to know it's not for a lack of trying. The chamber tries and we try, and we all get together as much as possible. But the thing is you don't have to clear it with anyone to have an event unless you're using city services and need a permit. So I just recommend, before you plan a very large scale event, just check in with the Chamber of Commerce and the CVB and say, is there anything else going on that day? Is that a good time? And that seems to be the most helpful when we can kind of space things out a little bit. But when things like this happen, just the more the merrier. We can make room and maybe even spill over into Lufkin's hotels. Let's see. We do have a work study intern position available, so if you know of anybody who would like a paid internship opportunity, let me know. We're happy to take on a marketing student, a business student, or a hospitality student, so we're flexible there. And I think that's all for my report, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you, Ashley. Any questions of Ashley? Certainly have a full agenda, a full plate going on over there at Visit Nacogdoches. And
Yes, sir.
thanks to you, Mike, and everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, Wayne and Ashley, contact Marianne and I'll text you her number. she and Monica and Remy, they have a full-time person now that is over the internship program, and they'll be more than happy to help you or anybody else on this call.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Actually,
Thank
I'll
you,
put that,
Nancy.
I'll put it in the chat column. How's that?
Okay.
That's great. Thank you, Nancy. Well, I'm going to ask Caroline Garner to update us. I know they got some exciting things on the horizon at United Way. And Les Lineberger, you're on deck, sir. Good morning, Caroline.
Good morning, Wayne, again. Second good morning to Wayne. Thank you very much. And as Ashley said, there are some great events. And as Wayne said, yes, we have exciting things going on at United Way, bringing those together Tuesday night, which I think is not conflicting with other events on the calendar, nothing major anyway. We have our annual United Way kickoff. We call it a campaign kickoff because we're kicking off the fall fundraising season to get pledges for our wonderful partner agencies. We already have decided to support 19 partner agencies in the areas of health, education, and financial stability next year in Nacogdoches. So now's the time for us to fundraise for our 2024 United Way giving. But the campaign kickoff is it's about coming and having a good time and learning about what we do when we live united. It involves our partners. We have a lot of awesome partners who support us, plus a lot of our partner agencies attend. We have Coach Colby Carthel of the SFA Lumberjack football team coming as our guest speaker. So, you know, it's going to be very motivating and fun to hear from Coach. Food is catered by Grando, and it's at Bonita Creek Hall. So it's a very fun venue. That is where we typically have it. So it is Tuesday night at 5:30. And I promise it'll be a good time. We do have a few seats still available, and I've put in the chat a link to our Facebook event page, which in turn links to online ticket sales, or you just email me or call the United Way office and we'll get you on our list. Here's the flyer. Reach for the stars is our theme. and it's going to be a lot of fun. So hope to see you guys there. Yeah, that's it for now, Wayne. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. And if you folks haven't attended that event, it is really a fun and exciting evening. We certainly look forward to it here at the Chamber every year. And thanks for the great work you guys are doing. Well, Les, guess what? I see all these great school parking lots full and these happy little kids going in with their book bags and their backpacks. It looks like you're off to a great start.
Yes, good morning, Wayne. Absolutely. We're glad to have the students back, and we started last week on Wednesday. And I'm not going to jinx it or anything by saying that everything's running smoothly, because after all, there are 6,000 kids, so I'm not sure exactly how smooth it can ever be. But we're pleased with how everything's worked so far, and our campuses are hopping. A lot of things are getting ready to get started. The football team kicks off its season this week. They're the varsity's opening games down in Palestine on Friday night. But next week they will have their first game here in Nac against the old rival from south of the Angelina River. And that game will actually be played at Homer Bryce Stadium on the campus of SFA. So we're really excited about that as well. And there's all the good things associated with school are getting underway. All manner of athletic teams, our marching band, getting their program tuned up and ready to go, and our cheerleaders drill team. And that's not only at the high school, that's at McMichael Middle School as well. So just a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, obviously, with that many students and that many teachers. But we're grateful so far about how everything's run.
Well, that's great news, and I'm going to be joining all of the fans going up to Palestine for the game Friday night.
Wayne, what side of the stadium are you going to be sitting on? I was just curious.
Well, I have two grandchildren that are in the Palestine school system, so if I want to continue a relationship with them, I suspect I'll be on the wrong side of the field.
Well, I can make sure we've got a black and gold shirt for you to wear while you're sitting over there, if you're interested.
I want you to know. Hold on just a second. I want you to know that I've had this in my office since the day I was hired, and if I could
All
get
right.
it to fit on my fat head, I'd be wearing that thing. So, but I'm very proud of that helmet.
Well,
By the way, colleagues from FFA, I don't have one from SFA. So,
to paraphrase the late great Jerry Clower, those Wildcats down in Palestine are mean, wet, or dry. So we know we'll have our hands full.
we're so I'll be quietly rooting for my Dragons. So there you go. Well, first of all, I'm going to turn it over to Kelly for our chamber updates. Good morning, Kelly.
Hey, good morning, everyone. That was great. We got to get a picture of that, Wayne. There you go. Nancy's got something for you too. Well, I just shared the link to our chamber event calendar. Thanks for Ashley to mention that we try, don't we, to help promote everything happening in our region, even beyond Nacogdoches. So next week on Thursday, August 31st, we are welcoming our Congressman Pete Sessions to Eggs and Issues, where he'll be giving his updates for us. If you're interested in attending, I suggest you go ahead and get your seat reserved now. You can call us at the chamber office, or you'll find an online registration link on our calendar. So we have some big things coming up, and they are booking fast. Our 101st annual meeting is going to be held on September 26th. And event chair Betty Shin gave us an update this morning. I believe we might have 9 tables open, maybe less than that at this point. So if you didn't hear me, that was 9 open tables, maybe less at this point. So if you want a seat at our annual meeting on September 26th, please call us today so we can get your name on that list and we can hold that for you. We also have our Blueberry Golf Bash in the works. The event will be October 13th at Lumberjack National this year. And we only have a few teams open for that. So if you want to play in the tournament, let us know. But we have other options for volunteers. You can certainly donate for the raffle or the goodie bag so that you can have your business represented at that great 26th annual event. So Wayne, in addition to the link that everybody can access and look at daily, I think I'll leave it at that. If you'd like to add anything else.
I think I'll leave it at that. First of all, what was refreshing in this call today is the amount of collaboration between the stakeholders on this call. It's so great that there's so much cross-pollination on these programs and projects and promotion. That's evidence what we can do when we all pull together. So thank you all for this. And unless anybody else has got any other comments, I will conclude this call.
No, you won't. Hey, Kelly, I want a team. I just got on. I got off the Sawmill 6-man meeting. My report is we're doing great. We can now collaborate with SFA directly in their athletic department. That's the end of my report. But I do want a golf team. Thank you very much. Bye.
And Gary, I suspect you'll share more about that collaborative effort at some point in the near future, so that we can get a sense of how this thing is evolving.
Absolutely. It's molding quite well. The athletic department will make an announcement here very shortly about how we're all working together. And Sawmill 6-man will remain intact and represent basketball. So, but vision of mine has been realized, and everybody else's. All the sports will be able to participate in the collective, meaning that there's an opportunity to support every sport financially if you choose to do so. And the athletic department will have the means or the process put together real soon and announce it publicly.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks, Gary Lee, for that update. I apologize. I didn't see you popped on here. So
I just
would've
jumped on.
called.
I wanted to irritate my wife with just interrupting everything. So that's all that is. Somebody needs to shut their phone off.
Well, listen, folks, you all have a great day, and I hope that this is a prosperous week for everybody. Thanks for your updates. Thanks, your reports. Thank you, Larissa, for that update today. We really appreciate that. And again, congratulations to all involved, including our friends from Eaton and NEDCO and every place else in securing that great economic gain for Nacogdoches and Nacogdoches County. Have a great day, everybody.